Iran, one of the most controversial nations on earth. George Bush listed it under the nations of the axis of evil. Now, whether or not you think Iran is an Islamic fundamental country threatening the world with terrorism, or whether you think it's a pariah state that's being victimised because it has different beliefs to us in the West, watch this episode of Jason's Journeys and decide for yourself. Now, you might have your own views about it. Iranians have their own views. Young people, old people, Christian people, Sunni and Shia. It's such a complex issue. We're going to look at it in this episode. Anyway, before I get on with any more talk on this episode, it's probably better that we get there and visit it for ourselves. Let's get going, everyone. I'm Jason Ross. This is Jason's Journeys. Let's go to Iran. So this is our fourth and final episode on Iran. We made our way from Tehran down to the beautiful ancient city of Isfahan, over to Shiraz and the ancient site of Persepolis, and now we've made our way to Yazd, the oldest city on earth. If you missed any of it, you know where to go. Jason's Journeys on YouTube. Anyway, let's continue on with Yazd and make our way out of the rest of the country, down south and onto Dubai. So when you left me last time, I was wandering through the back alleys of Yazd. We mentioned it's the oldest continually inhabited city on earth, having been continuously inhabited for over 6,000 years. Well, I made my way back to the stunning hotel I was staying at, had a cup of tea because it was now sundown and Ramadan was over, and time to head out and have something to eat and check Yazd by night. If I was impressed by day by Yazd, I was certainly even more impressed by night. The Yazd mosque glowing, the streets abuzz with the cafes, and then of course you have the historical restaurants, some of them even recognised by UNESCO. But let's let the pictures speak for themselves. So as I had a final look around, I was intrigued by the badgers. They're wind catchers, bad meaning wind and gur meaning catcher. They're a traditional element and I was really fascinated by them. Okay, so behind us here is an example of one of these badgers or wind catchers. What they do is they catch the air. There's actually a screen that filters out the hot air. It carries the wind down to the household and property, and normally underneath they'll have a pool there of cold water so that it works like a ventilation system. Actually keeps the places quite cool. Pretty ingenious, don't you think? It's incredible that these badgers or wind catchers are capable of storing water at near freezing temperatures even in the middle of summer. The evaporative cooling effect is strongest in dry climates such as the Iranian plateau. But it was time to head back to the hotel, have one last look and say goodbye when I met an unexpected guest. Okay, so here we are at the Cohen Guest House. It's one of these traditional guest houses that you have here in Persia, and particularly in the city of Yazd. You'll hear the sounds in the background of an Australian guest that's here that I'm going to show you later on, but we'll get to him in a minute. The guest house has been here for about 130 years, and if you get a chance, you've got to stay at one of these traditional houses. You'll see some of the images where you can sit down, sipping tea, smoking the kali, this sort of thing. It's got very much kind of a Moroccan flavour to it, and you'll find yourself feeling really at home. So let's check out the rest of the guest house while we're here, sit down and have some tea, and meet our other Australian guests, shall we? Let's go and check him out. Here is our other Australian guest, who is of course a cockatoo. So this cockatoo has made it all the way from Australia. I don't think it flew here somehow, so I say to the people at customs, this is a no-no. And birds like this actually cost about $4,000 to buy over here, which is why the smuggling trade is very big in Australia, so go border security. He hasn't learned to speak yet, but we're practicing, aren't we? Hello, say hello. Okay, so let's leave the cockatoo talking to the galah and then jump into a taxi. Yes, I kid you not, that's the taxi company, and made my way out to the train station bound for the south in the city of Bandar Abbas. Okay, so here we are at Yazd railway station. We're about to get the overnight train from Yazd down to Bandar Abbas, which is right on the Persian Gulf. Apparently the temperature's sitting between 44 to 46 degrees down there. Lucky us. We've paid $13 for this 12-hour train trip to get the free flies. Let's see what kind of train we get on board and head to Bandar Abbas. The train ride down, I have to say, was one of the worst journeys I'd had on a train. The speed of the train was well in excess of what the tracks could cope with, and I was genuinely concerned, but the good news is I made it there safe and sound. Little did I know though that my journey out of Iran was only just beginning. Nothing's as easy as it seems there, remember? Okay, so here we are at Bandar Abbas train station. It's about 12 hours from Yazd down to here. I didn't feel much of the countryside because it gave a new meaning to desolate. There was just grey rock, stone and mountains. It was pretty uninspiring, to tell you the truth. So we're here now, it's 10 in the morning and it's screaming hot. It's already about 36 degrees at 10 in the morning. So now it's time to head into Bandar Abbas and see how we get on. And from there on to Bandar and the ferry to Dubai. So here we are in a taxi in 45-degree heat in a tiny suburb in a back street somewhere in southern Iran. Let's hope we can get from here to our bus terminal. Let's see how we go. Well, when I arrived at the bus terminal, it wasn't exactly what I was expecting. And yes, this is the guy I end up travelling with for 4.5 hours to Bandar to get the ferry across. So here we are at the bus terminal from hell. We've been dropped off in the middle of the desert trying to negotiate a deal with locals who only speak Farsi, and we're trying to get from here to Bandar Let's see how we get on. It's the bus ride, coach ride, taxi ride from hell to get to Bandar before we can get our ferry across to Sharjah and Dubai, that area. Let's see how we get on. It's mighty hot. This is our group of people we're haggling a deal with to see if we can get there. So here we are in the back of the taxi. It's our third change of, we went to the bus terminal to another taxi terminal, and now all of us are heading in one big taxi to Bandar with my friend here. They've brought seafood, and the taxi smells of a combination of seafood and smelly Persians. Let's see how we go. Stick around, because coming up after the break, I get arrested on my way out of the country, holding back the ferry for 2.5 hours. But don't worry, we get out of there eventually, we get across the water and we make our way to Dubai to see the tallest building on earth. I'll see you after the break, everyone.